Alrighty. So random question, and you don't have to be allowed to answer this, you can always comment. For people that use incense sticks, when you light them, do you ever feel like you should be in like Harry Potter and your Patronus is coming out of like a wand? I do, every single time. Always comes into my head. Never not. Alrighty. Good morning to those that are watching live and those that will watch this later. Just going to wait a few more minutes before getting started today. I'll start my spiel in like 1 minute. That way you can kind of get started on time. Let's see what I have planned today. That is not the right date. This one is. All right, time for the spiel. Hello, good morning. Those attending live, awesome, wonderful. Those attending the recording later, awesome, wonderful. My name's Lexi. If you're attending live and you want to tell me who you are, just say hi, I'm here. The chat is there to do so. Good morning, welcome to Pay What You Can Yoga. I have all the details in the live chat as well as below about where to contribute if you so feel inclined to. There is a suggested price, but pay what you can is pay what you can. Any and all contributions are immensely and greatly appreciated, so thank you. So this is gentle yoga. If you've tuned into any of my other streams this month, we've been kind of keeping it chill and also focusing on some different types of pranayama techniques. That is continuing today. And actually, at the end of this, I'm going to have a short announcement about what the month of April is going to look like. So be excited for that. Let's see. Props are more than welcome to be used throughout this practice. I have a single block today. I should have two, but I have a block. And then I have a blanket. You can use pillows or whatever you like to make this as accessible, relaxing, and or challenging as you so feel fit to do. Modifications are more than welcome. If you find that I'm holding a pose too long, you can always come out of it. You can always add some movement into it. Really explore your body and see what feels good. For example, there is lizard pose today that I want us to hold. But before we do that, I'm going to kind of do like this weird half split type of flow just to kind of work into the hip. So if all of a sudden you're in lizard and you're just like, this feels great, I don't want to move, great, don't move. But if you're just like, I'm not ready to hold this, I'll show you how to kind of move and get yourself more used to kind of opening up that area and then wanting to be comfortable sitting there. However, if none of that is working for you, child's pose is always an option, or you can just completely break from the yoga, take a moment, get some water, relax, and then come back when you're ready. Along the lines of all of that, keep in mind, yoga is a physical practice, and since I cannot see you, I have to ask you to be very responsible for your own actions and movements. If something feels good, as I said before, go for it, explore, play. If it doesn't, come on out, take breaks as much as you need, really listen to your body here. You don't want to hurt yourself or anything like that. I have a liability description below, so that way you're safe and I'm safe. We all just want to be safe, So that covers that. I think that's all I have planned today. So I'm going to give it one more minute and then we'll just do this thing. Yeah. Let's see. And then, yeah, if you have two blocks, I kind of recommend that. In the beginning, we're going to do some reclined butterflies and a lot of things on our back and on the floor. So if you want to make yourself more comfy, great. If you don't have the things to make yourself more comfy, that's fine too. All right, well, I'm going to get started. So pranayama to start, as we've been doing throughout this whole month. Going to take a little bit of a different direction. We've been doing a lot of breath retention the past 2 weeks with the box breath and then alternate nostril breathing. Today, you would think that I was working up to ujjayi, which will probably be the breath that we finish with next week. But I want to do something a little bit different. I actually want to focus on having elongated exhales. I find that even with breath retention, we do that in our daily lives and we do it with really short breaths. So while it's important to kind of learn how to balance your breath and do the retention, it's also important just to learn how to really let go and breathe out. I find that times when I'm really anxious or brain fog, if I just take a few really elongated exhales, things feel so much better. So you might be thinking, oh, we're doing lion's breath. Incorrect. I'm going to do a technique that I've actually never, I think I've taught this in a class a year ago on this channel, but I've never seen other teachers incorporate this into a class, and it's not really an active technique to do while you're doing yoga. I learned this during teacher training, and I just think it's a fun breath and something a little bit different to do. So pardon the pronunciation, I'm really trying. Bhramari breath, which is the humming bee breath. And it sounds exactly just like that. Just like our previous breaths when we get started and we actually get into the practice of pranayama, we're going to work on our inhales, get it to the count of 3 or 4 wherever we're comfortable, and then we're going to hum out as long as we can our exhale. So for example, before we start, inhale. Now, my audio might cut out on the hum, but I'm just humming. That's it. Humming out the exhale. And when you do that type of hum, you can find that you can really exhale for a long time, which is cool. Let me pull up just a little description about this breath. So it is believed that the humming sound and vibrations naturally calm the mind and the body. Research has shown that by practicing this pranayama, it can lead to increased concentration, improved memory, and relief stress. I also just like it, again, because it's kind of fun. And it's not something we do a lot. This breath is probably a good breath to do. I never really explain where to do those other breaths. They're usually at the start or the end of practice. This one's definitely more of an end of practice breath because you're kind of incorporating that sound that's with Om. You can also just kind of do this breath wherever you like. Of course, it's not as secretive as other ones where you're trying to kind of calm yourself. You're making a pretty vocal sound with the hum, but that's all right. Do it when you want. Feel great about it. Yeah, so when you're ready, I'm going to kind of cue us through just evening out our breaths, really relaxing the face, the jaw, because you don't want to be clenched while you're doing this hum. And we'll probably do about 10 rounds of it or so, and then we'll get into the asana today. I'm actually not going to go all the way back yet. I'm going to stay here. So for this breath, you can sit however you like on the heels, easy seat. I'm doing half lotus. Yes. So get yourself pretty comfortable. Rest the hands wherever you feel chill. Maybe take some shoulder rolls first. Just kind of relax the body here. Good. You can flutter the eyes closed. Keep a soft gaze. Just kind of relax what's going on there. And really, before we get into the breath, I want you to focus, bring your attention and awareness onto your jaw and unclench it. You might not think it's clenched, but do some funny movements with it. Loosen it up. Bring that attention and awareness to a spot in between your eyebrows. Maybe create tension there, scrunch up the face, no one can see her, it's fine, and then let go. Maybe incorporate that jaw movement again, scrunching and releasing. Just see where there's tension in your face, because there definitely probably is, even though it's early morning, we hold a lot of tension here, and part of my jaw, that's where it is for me today. Just let it go. Relax the face, the neck. Good. Once you feel a little bit more released, a little bit more relaxed, we'll just start coming into our breath, inhaling through the nose. Just exhale back out. You don't have to even out the breaths just yet. Just breathe as you normally do. Take one more. Good. Begin evening out to your count of 3 or 4. Do that 2 more times. Last one. Good. Moving into this humming bee breath. Inhaling together. Exhale, hum. And inhale. Exhale your hum. Good. You have 8 more. Your hums can be a little bit longer or shorter than mine. Just take your time. Focus on the breath. 3 more. Last one. If you finished up, let's all take a deep inhale together. Exhale, sigh out. Again, inhale. Do one more. Let's clear everything out. Good. Fluttering the eyes open. Let's move on to our asana today. We'll start in reclined butterfly. So coming onto your back. If this is where you have 2 blocks, it'll be probably pretty nice and a little bit more restorative on pillows. But coming all the way back, laying down. Palms, base of your feet touch, knees open up wide. Hands can rest wherever they feel most comfortable, beside you, maybe on your thighs, just gently encouraging them to open up a little bit more. Resting a hand on your heart, or on your stomach, just as you breathe and feel your life force. And come back to your breath here, evening out the inhales and the exhales. And take 5 slow deep breaths here. Last one. The hands are on the thighs or on your heart and stomach. You can go ahead and move your hands just to lay beside you. Keeping the right leg where it is. You're going to extend the left leg long and then move the bottom of the right foot to meet the inside of the left thigh. So kind of like a fallen tree pose. Again, if you have a block and your hip's just like, I'm not a fan of this, put the block underneath. If you feel a bit more open and that knee wants to go a little bit closer to the mat, go ahead and encourage it. And while you're here, again, focusing on your breath. Maybe working the left ankle. As you inhale, you can point the toes. Exhale, you can flex the feet or the foot. Maybe you don't do any of that at all. Maybe you take some circles. Just breathe here, kind of focus and send the breath towards the right leg. Good. One more deep breath. Nice. From here, you're going to take your left foot and move it towards the left corner of the mat. Take the right leg, cross it over the left, and then slide that right ankle down to cross over the left. Coming into banana pose. You can start by just interlacing the fingers behind your head. Inhaling here. And then exhale, drop that left elbow toward the left side. So your body's in a bit of a C shape here. If you want to add a little bit more, you can release the interlace behind your head
Take your hands up to the sky, kind of interlace them together, point the fingers, bring it overhead, and then again, dip the left shoulder. That feels a little funky. Take the left hand and just grab the right wrist, gently pulling towards the left side. One more deep breath. Then inhale, return the chest to center. Exhale, the arms can come down by the sides. Inhale here. And then exhale, bring the legs straight onto the mat. Working the left side. Bend the left knee towards the chest. Then go ahead and drop that left knee over towards the left side. Bottom of the left foot meets the right side. Or again, this fallen tree pose. And block option underneath the knee. It's no biggie if you feel like you need it on one side and not both. No one's perfectly symmetrical. We're just working towards balance. Good. Stay here. 2 more deep breaths. Last one. Good. Transitioning into banana pose. Start by moving that right ankle towards the right corner of the mat. Cross that left leg over the right, and then slide that left ankle down to be on top of the right. You don't have to start with the hands interlaced behind the head. You can start with the fingertips interlaced and extending long. Go all together. Inhale. And then exhale. Go over towards the right side, either with the right elbow or just kind of placing the shoulders on more of an angle. Good. 2 more deep breaths. Nice. Inhale, just bring the chest back to center. Exhale, release the arms. Inhale here. And then exhale, uncross the legs, extend them long. So inhale, bend of the knees, planting the feet just in front of our glutes. Maybe lift and place the hips down. So not actually doing bridge pose, but working with figure 4 today. Let's hug that right knee into the chest. And then as you exhale, right ankle goes on top of the shelf of the left knee. Just take a breath or 2 here. Again, maybe encourage that right knee to open up. Right knee, right hip, right side. Keep the right foot flexed as we get ready to move on. Good. From here, you can interlace your hands behind the left thigh, on top of the left calf. Maybe when it's behind the left thigh, you can extend that left leg out to the sky. Inhaling wherever you're grabbed. And as you exhale, go ahead, pull that left leg, the right leg towards the chest. Keep that right foot flexed. But as before, you can play around with pointing and flexing the foot like we did in the fallen tree, but just with the left leg. Good. Stay here. 1 more deep breath. Good. If the leg is extended, go ahead and lower it back down to the mat. But still keeping your legs in the figure 4 shape, we're going to come into a supine twist. Keeping the legs just as they are, go ahead and extend your arms out to a T. Inhale in here. And as you exhale, bring that right foot over towards the left side. So the right knee will still be pointing up. Well, not up. It was parallel before. Now it's pointing up to the sky. Gazing over towards the left fingertips. If this kind of feels funky on the hip, the ankle, you can always just stack the knees, taking it into a more common supine twist. Good. One more deep breath. Nice. As you inhale, let's bring the gaze back up to the ceiling. Coming back, just go ahead, shift the hips and the weight to that left foot. So you come to the figure four. So you are in standard supine twist. You can just bring the knees back up to center. And again, place that right ankle on top of the left knee. One breath here. Inhale, just hug it into the chest. And then exhale, go ahead, release. Match the right leg with the left, so plant it in front of the heels. In front of the glutes, excuse me. Not talk today. And let's switch sides. So as you inhale, hug the left knee into the chest. And then exhale, place that left ankle on top of the shelf of the right knee. Stay here for about 2 breaths just to work into that left hip. Left foot is now the one that remains flexed. And as you're ready, use the next inhale. Interlace where you can, where you feel most comfortable. And then exhale, you're just going to pull the right leg towards the chest. Also, the left leg goes with it. Good. One more deep breath. Very slowly lower that right leg back down and planting that foot in front of the glute. We're going to take the twist towards the opposite side. So go ahead, bring your arms out to the T. Inhaling here. And now as you exhale, drop the left leg towards the right side, gazing over towards those right fingertips. Left knee will be pointing up to the ceiling. Actually, I think I have us gazing the wrong way. That's great. That feels right. I don't know. Today's a weird day. It's fine though. We're working through it. Just breathe. I just want to feel like we should be gazing the other way though. Sorry. 2 more breaths. Good. Inhale, bring the gaze up to center. Exhale here. And as you're ready, bring the legs back on up to the figure four shape. Take 1 breath, inhale, just briefly hug in. And then exhale, go ahead, release that ankle. We're going to come back into reclined butterfly briefly, so allow the knees to go wide. Plant the feet together. Good. So we're going to actually come up to seated through fish pose, and you can take any leg variation you like for this. You can stay in butterfly pose. You can extend the legs long, and then you can also do an easy seat if you still kind of want to work the hips. So whatever leg variation you want to do, awesome. We're going to do the same variation all together, though, to get ourselves up with our upper half. So you're going to take your fingers, and you're going to make a triangle shape by having your index fingers touch and your thumbs. This shape you want to place underneath your low back, right at the base of your spine. Take just 1 deep breath here. Good. As you inhale, press into the palms, press into the forearms. You're going to lift the chest on up. Maybe wiggle those elbows in together. Oh, pretty here. So keeping the hands pressed firmly, you just bring the knees out towards the ceiling.
Stay here as you exhale, or if you feel comfortable enough, very slowly allow them to hang back. This is more of a modified fish pose. If you want to go a bit deeper, you can bring those elbows wide to allow the crown of the head to touch the mat, still keeping the chest kind of lifted. That's really intense for me today, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to allow the neck to hang. Listening to my body and adjusting as need be. Take 2 more breaths here. Good. If the neck is hanging, very slowly use the next inhale to chin the chest. Exhale, remain. And then inhale, really press into the palms. Lift yourself all the way up to seated. Good. So let's all come into easy seat. If you didn't use easy seat to get up, go ahead, cross the ankles. Unless half lotus is where you want to go, do that. Just a little bit more lateral work. Let's inhale, scoop the palms up to the ceiling, bring the gaze up. Exhale, drop that right hand outside of right hip, bring the left arm overhead. You can really walk those right fingertips out, maybe drop to the forearm, maybe don't go to the forearm if you find that left hip is coming up off the mat. And like before, cross are fine, you can bring the floor a little bit closer to you. Good, 1 more deep breath. Use the inhale, come up to center. Exhale, switch sides. Left hand outside the left hip, right arm comes overhead. Don't just allow the right arm to hang, try and keep it really active and engaged. But if this doesn't feel great, you can always bring the palm behind your head and very gently kind of press the head into the hand. I promise there's more laterals coming up, so if you're just like, I'm doing this, but I'm not balanced on the other side, I'll get you there. Good, take 1 more deep breath. Inhale, come all the way up to center. Exhale, hands, heart center. Good. Inhale, sweep the palms up. Exhale, bring the arms down behind the back. And just rest the hands on the hips here as we inhale, press into the hips, look the gaze, look around the head, very tummy back then. Exhale here. Do you want to work the shoulders? You can interlace the fingers at the low spine, keeping them here. Breathe in, bring the shoulder blades together and kind of work those fingertips down towards the mat. Gaze still remains lifted. 2 breaths. Stay here for 1 more inhale because we're having fun. Exhale, very slowly release, coming to a neutral spine, releasing any interlaced fingers. Great. Let us roll over our knees and come into tabletop. Knees underneath hips, wrist underneath shoulders. And pay attention to your core here. You don't want to dump or overly round. Just be pretty neutral. We do have a couple very slow sun steps, which we can very easily modify. Take up the chaturanga and not be too crazy with the planks. But let's go ahead and just touch base with our wrists, doing gentle circles. If you're going in one way, be sure to go in the other direction. Yeah, go ahead and point those fingertips towards the outside edges of the mat. Sway side to side. And we're going to turn the fingertips towards the top of the mat.
Working into our shoulders just a little bit more, because if you take these classes with me, you know I like to do hips and heart. So let's walk our fingertips out in front of us, still keeping our knees and hips in one line. So begin to work the chest towards the mat for puppy pose. If you can't quite get the chin or the chest to the mat, don't worry about it. You have props as your friend, or you can just be here. I'm going to support my chest today. See? Adjust as needed. Two more deep breaths. Last one. Good. Work yourself back up and return to tabletop. Our last little warm up here is my personal favorite, thread the needle. So keep the right hand planted where it is. And as you inhale, sweep the left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread that left arm underneath the right. Left shoulder comes down to the mat. Breathing here, your even inhales and exhales. Now you can add on, by moving the right hand, you can walk it towards the top of the mat. You can stack shoulder, elbow, wrist up towards the ceiling, or you can take that right hand, right? Yep, and place it towards the left hand. Good. Two more deep breaths. Last one. Good. If you've removed that right hand, go ahead and return it to the mat, right beside the face. Use the next inhale, press firmly, sweep that left arm up. Exhale, plant it down. Switching sides, press into the left arm as you inhale, sweep the right arm up. Exhale, right threads underneath left, right shoulder to the mat. And be sure to balance yourself out, so whatever you did with the right arm, feel free to do it with the left. One more deep breath. Perfect. So you've moved that left hand and turn it to the mat. And use your next inhale, sweep the right arm up. Exhale, take it to tabletop. Perfect. From here, let's walk our fingertips out in front of us about 6 inches further. Tuck our back toes. We're going to come into our first downward facing dog. For this downward facing dog, we're going to pedal out the feet. Keep a deep bend in the knees. The hamstrings feel really tight this morning. That's what I'm going to do. Don't necessarily worry about trying to get the heels to the mat just yet. Just check in with your body, see how you feel. Good. Take one more deep breath. Great. As you inhale, bring your gaze in between the palms. And then exhale, let's walk ourselves to the top of our mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and bring the hands to the thigh, flat back, tailbone one way, crown of the head the other. Exhale, go ahead and fold. Let's wiggle walk our feet to be hips distance or max distance. Inhale, roll ourselves up halfway. Exhale, take it to a ragdoll. So allow the upper body to hang. You can take opposite hand, opposite elbow. And if the hamstrings are still really not feeling it this morning, go ahead, bend, straighten the knees, or just keep a bend in the knees. If you're bent kneed like me and you're just like, is this really doing anything for me? Take your hands to the backs of your thighs. You should still feel pretty decent engagement here. Good. Take 2 more deep breaths. Last one. Perfect. Release the hands to the floor. And then wiggle, walk your feet together to touch. Use the next inhale. Begin to roll yourself up to standing. Keep the arms to the side. Save the crown of the head for last. And then exhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Coming back to those lateral stretches I mentioned earlier. Let's go ahead and inhale, sweep those palms up to the ceiling. Exhale, you can just start with the hands interlaced and then go ahead and bring that left arm over towards the right side. For those that want to be balanced out, you can drop the right hand towards the floor. I like to actually flex my palm. Then go ahead and bring that left hand behind the head. Very gently bring the gaze up. You'll feel the weight start to shift into the left arm. You'll feel it all up in here. Good. One more deep breath. Next, inhale, come all the way up, bring both arms up. Exhale, lateral stretch towards the left side. So bring that right arm over. If you want more of that same movement, drop the left hand towards the left hip. Bring that right arm behind your head. Very gently, just bring the gaze up. Good. One more deep breath. Use the inhale, come all the way. Exhale, bring the hands to the hips, supporting yourself, tiny back bend here. Inhale, lift the chest, crown the head, lift up. Exhale, stay. One more deep breath, because this is fun. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale very slowly, return yourself to a neutral spot. Exhale, release the hands to Tadasana. Okay, going into our sunsets. Keeping the feet really nice and planted here. Tadasana, right before we move on, shouldn't just be kind of a really lax pose. I'm sure you just saw my posture. It was not great, so that's why I'm doing this to check in with myself and to let you guys check in as well. So with Tadasana mountain pose, you can start by lifting your toes up off the mat and then placing the big toe down, followed by the pinky and all the others. So you have this nice pressing with our toes. And then you want to make sure your weight is also evenly distributed in the heels. So you have like this triangle shape between the mounds of the big toes, the pinkies, and the heels. Engage all throughout the legs. Lift yourself up and out of the kneecaps. Core slightly engaged, tailbone is tucked, nice flat spine. You want to bring the shoulders back, but also knit the ribs in. Hands can just rest to the side, but keep the fingertips spread. Keep everything kind of engaged and active here. Again, we're not slouching. We're actually really like working on the posture. All right, now sun toss. Let's inhale, sweep the palms up to the ceiling. Exhale, we can swan dive ourselves down towards the mat. Again, bending in the knees is totally okay. That's the key. If you can't get your fingertips to the floor, bend your knees. Use your next inhale. Come up halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step yourself back to a high plank or forearm plank if you're not feeling your wrist today. We're going to inhale together. And then exhale, we can drop down to our knees and take knees, chest, chin. So we bend into the elbows, hugging them towards the ribs. Chest comes down, chin comes down. Inhale, pull yourself through cobra. Just lift the chest. Exhale, you can take it back to tabletop. Then tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Good. From here, let's inhale, sweep the right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring knee to nose. And then step the right foot in between the palms, lowering the left knee down. Untucking the toes, we're coming to low lunge. But I want you to start with a very 90-90 shape, so don't be in your deepest lunge here. Keep it pretty boxing square. Use your inhale to bring the hands on top of the thigh. Exhale here. Good. Maybe use your next inhale, sweep the palms up to the ceiling. Bring the gaze up, bring the shoulders away from the ears. Good. hands back down on top of the thigh. Maybe you wiggle walk that right foot a little bit more forward. And begin to really settle into this lunge. You want to make sure that that knee does not pass the ankle. So only go as deep in your lunge as you feel comfortable. If you're not feeling great and you prefer being more 90-90, that's fine too. If you want to take it deeper, also awesome and fun. We have 3 more deep breaths. Hands can remain on top of the thigh, or you can sweep them up to the ceiling. Nice, last one. As you exhale now, flex the palms, press them away from you as you bring them down to the mat to frame the foot. Good. Here's that lizard pose I was talking about. So start by bringing the right hand to the inside of the right foot, and then wiggle that right foot over towards the right side of the mat. Now, before we settle into lizard pose, we can start by adding some movement just to kind of work and warm up this area of our body. If you've taken a class with me before, you know I like doing low lunge and half split. So this is the same principle, except it's not low lunge, it's lizard pose. So from here, we'll take an inhale. And then exhale, let's shift our hips back, still keeping that right foot pretty wide. Then move with your breath, come back to lizard. Exhale to shift it back. You don't have to straighten the right leg completely. We're just adding some movement, some mobility. Letting our body know that it's all right to loosen up this area because we're going to be sitting here for a moment. So if you're doing this movement, awesome. Let's do it 2 more times. If you're not doing it and you're holding lizard, great. Keep holding your lizard. You're going to hold it for even longer. Last one. Feels funky, but that's fine. So inhale, we all return to lizard. And now exhale, we settle in. With this lizard pose, you can stay with the hands planted. If you're feeling open and you want to drop to the forearms, go ahead and do that. Or again, bring your props in to bring the mat closer to you. If you're up on the hands, you have the option to kind of play around again with a little bit of movement. You can keep the left hand planted where it is and bring the right hand towards the right knee. And then very slowly peel the right foot up off the mat so the neck is just touching. And wherever you are, 2 more deep breaths. And if you've peeled that foot up, go ahead and bring it in. Plant the hands back down. If you're on the forearms, let's return and come back onto our hands. Now from here, we're going to come into Malasana to switch sides and work the opposite side in the opposite direction that we've been going. So we're actually going to start with lizard and then make our way to a sun style. So to get to Malasana, let's take that right foot and point it at a 45-degree angle. You can tuck your back toes, lift the back knee up off the mat. Very carefully, just step that left foot to the outside of the right hand and sit yourself on down. You can do it. If not, just go ahead, stand at the top of the mat and then squat yourself down. Great job. So from here, let's press the hands together. And you can shift side to side. It's going to feel kind of funky because we've been working this right hip, not the left. Good. Let's take a twist here because why not? So taking our left hand, let's place it in front of those left toes and then inhale, sweep the right arm up towards the sky. You can stay here, or if you're feeling a bind, start with the half bind by just taking that right hand and bringing it behind your back towards the left hip. And then that left arm will wrap around the left knee. Maybe the fingertips touch, maybe they don't. They're not touching for me today, so I'm just going to keep that left hand planted so I can focus on really opening, lifting the chest. And just keeping that right hand towards that left hip. Good. 1 more deep breath. Very slowly use the next inhale, release yourself from the twist, coming back to Malasana. Exhale. Twisting the opposite side. Right hand in front of right foot. Inhale, sweep that left arm up to the sky. Staying here, or exhale, work the bind on the other side. Sometimes you'll find your other side is much more bindable, and that's all right. 2 breaths. If this feels really intense, release the bind. Take a moment, come out of Malasana. It's all right. Good. Inhale, release that bind. Exhale, Malasana. Beautiful. Let's plant the hands on the floor. We're going to come to our left side. So I'm going to lift myself up out of Malasana a bit, and then send that right leg straight behind me. Lowering the right knee down to the mat, and then spinning that 45-degree angle with the left toes to make them parallel with my hands. So starting in lizard pose on the left side now. You can start with just that shifting movement, so inhale here, and then exhale, just shift the hips back. Do this 2 more times. Now let's do it one more, why not? Good. Inhale to your lizard. And then exhale, take lizard pose as you so feel fit. Again, hands can be planted. You can open up that left side by rolling onto the knife edge of the left foot, and the left hand rests on the knee. Take it to the forearms. Bring a block or a pillow. Take 3 more breaths in lizard. Last one. Good. If you're laying all the way out, go ahead, return onto the palms. If the knee is open, bring it back in. Both palms inside of left foot. Good. So working towards our low lunge now. Let's wiggle that left foot back into center and bring both hands around to frame the foot. Now, even though we've kind of opened up the left side, we're still going to start with the 90-90 low lunge here. So go ahead, bring the hands onto the knees, keep it pretty blocky. You don't have to completely shift into this low lunge just yet. We're going to take a few breaths here, and they remain on the shelf of the left knee, or sweep those palms up to the sky. And one more. Nice, lower the palms back down to the knee. Now, if you'd like to take your low lunge a little bit deeper, you can wiggle that left foot a bit more forward, so that way you can really sink in here, but still keep the knee over the ankle, not past it. Hands can remain on the knee or bring them up to the ceiling. Good, one more deep breath. Nice. Let's inhale, all sweep the palms up. Exhale, flex the palms, press them away so they come down to the mat to frame the foot. Good. Let's tuck our back right toe, lift that knee up off the mat, then step the left foot back for a high plank or take it to a forearm plank. We'll inhale here together, and then exhale, drop the knees down, come to knees, chest, chin. Inhale through cobra pose. Exhale, take it back to a tabletop, and then right into downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths here. If you're still feeling pretty tight, go ahead and just find a movement that feels good. Good. Take 1 more deep breath. Nice. As you inhale, look up in between the palms. Exhale, let's walk our way to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, go ahead, fold. Inhale, we rise all the way up. Coming into that active Tadasana. Exhale here. Good. Let's inhale, scoop the palms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take it back to the plank. And now keep exhaling. One breath, one movement through your low plank or knee shift. Inhale through cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, take it back table, and then to down dog. 2 deep breaths. Stay here as you inhale. Exhale, drop the table, and then take it into a child's pose. Knees can be together or to the width of the mat with your big toes touching behind you. Walk the hands out in front of you. Bring the forehead to the mat. Maybe very gently roll the forehead side to side. Good. As you inhale, go ahead, lift the chest, begin to walk the hands towards the knees. If their knees are wide, bring them together. And exhale here. Let's take the knees out from our feet out from underneath of us, extending the legs long. We're going to make our way onto our back the way we came up with fish pose. So again, you have the option with the legs, keep them long. Take it to butterfly, take the easy seat. Balance yourself out or try different variations, see how it feels. I'm actually going to keep my legs straight this time. So just as before, let's take our hands, allow the index fingers to touch, the thumbs to touch our nice stable triangle. Place it on the floor right at the base of your low spine. Bend into the elbows as the forearms come down to the mat. And just start with this modified variation. Just bring the gaze up towards the ceiling as you inhale. Exhale, remain here. Or if you feel comfortable, the neck can hang. Then the elbows can go wide, still keeping the chest lifted as the crown of the head touches the mat. I'm going to stay right here though. 3 breaths. Last one. If the head is hanging or touching the floor, press into the forearms, lift the crown up off the mat. Use the inhale, chin the chest first. And then exhale, let's all allow the elbows to go wide so we can lay ourselves all the way down. You can remove your hands out from underneath you. And if you're in butterfly or easy seat, go ahead and release the legs long onto the mat. Getting ready for our Shavasana pose. But first, just a little bit of tension and release. So as you inhale, begin to tighten all the muscle groups you can from your toes all the way up to the top of the head. Exhale, let go. Again, inhale, create tension, squeeze those palms together, scrunch up the face. Let go. Last time, tension, feel that tremble throughout the body, feel the glutes engage, the legs might even come up off the mat. And then exhale, let everything go. Melt on down. Allow the legs to take up as much space as they like. Allow the arms to go wide. Flutter the eyes closed. Release your breath.
And as you begin to return from your meditative state, bring awareness back into your body and back into the space with gentle movements of the fingers and the toes. Very gently and as slowly as you like, you can hug the knees into the chest, then roll onto whichever side you would like today, using your arms as a pillow. Just take this moment here to honor your practice today and all the transformation that has occurred within your mind, within your body, and within your soul. As slowly as you like, you can make your way up to a comfortable seated position, keeping the eyes closed, bringing the hands to heart center. We'll end today's practice with one Om. Inhaling together. Om. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Thank you. And that is today's class. Any and all feedback is greatly appreciated. You can comment below. You can message me here, Facebook, Instagram. It's all the same name, Lexiecoreyoga. Any feedback is greatly appreciated. Also, liking and subscribing is wonderful too. That way you get those little fun updates for when I go live on Saturdays. Now, the month of April announcement. So for the, 4 Saturdays, right? Yep, 4 Saturdays in April, I will still be doing a gentle-ish type of vinyasa class, 10 a.m., so same time, with a bit of a theme, because if you're in America, Earth Day is the last Sunday of April, I think. Is it a Tuesday? I don't know. Earth Day is in April. I should have written this down. It's fine. You know, I leave these little errors and flaws of, oh, I didn't have his face, turn the right direction. It's fine. People make mistakes. We work through it. Okay, April is Earth Day, and I am partnered up with the ACUA Earth Day Festival, which is in Atlantic County, New Jersey. They are not having their usual Earth Day Festival because, we're still in a pandemic, COVID, fun stuff. So instead, they're doing a month-long series of different events, classes, and things online. You can go to acua.com/Earth Day for more details. How this relates to the Saturday classes, they're going to be called Earth Yoga, and at the start of the class, there'll be short little discussion. Well, it would be nice to have a discussion if people attend live, just about topics revolving around Earth Day, sustainability, energy conservation, and how it relates to yoga practice. So yeah, that is what is going on in the month of April. We still have one more week of this in March. With the focus of pranayama. So that should be fun next week, but that's kind of everything. So if none of that rambling made sense, just message me. I can write way better than I can speak. Again, I should have written this first, but it's fine. Yeah, that is everything. Thank you so much to those that have attended. Thank you to those that contribute. I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.